Hello, shamanettes, and welcome to The Beauty Shaman. So today we're going to talk about puffy eyes. So puffy eyes is something I am very familiar with. I have puffy eyes almost every day that I wake up. I've tried all different strategies. So this all comes from a place of me trying everything with my puffy eyes, and some have worked better than others. Some are sort of humorous. All right, so years ago when I was a professional model for Elite modeling agency, and I traveled around the world and modeled, and then I burned out and I got out. That's the story. But having said that, I worked with a professional makeup artist who was so much fun. We just giggled our way through the day. It was really wonderful. And it was a photo shoot with a famous photographer named Patrick de Marchelier, famous French fashion photographer. And I was incredibly nervous. So this makeup artist was just making a lot of jokes, and he told me a story about how he used Preparation H on Liz Taylor's puffy eyes in order to take down the puffiness. And I laughed so hard, and I thought, what cheek for this guy to put Preparation H on her. And yeah, I think many of you have tried this, right? Have you not tried this in your youth? I would love to know down below if you could write if you've actually done this, to use Preparation H. It's not something I really encourage people to do. Hopefully the strategies I talk about today are a little bit healthier. I don't know how healthy Preparation H is in the long run. It's definitely got a lot of chemicals in it. Having said that, I think the goal here is always to minimize puffiness and to look our very best, our highest and best good. That's always how I frame it. All right, so before we get started down this road, please visit my website at thebeautyshamanstore.com and sign up for my newsletter while you're there for insider information and discounts. And also be sure to hit the bell and the subscribe button in order to be alerted every time I upload a video. Okay, let's get going. All right, so what causes puffy eyes? What makes your eyes puffy? Now, many of you are far enough down this road to know what it is that causes it for you specifically. And these are some of the some of the causes that I have found. Things like allergies. That's a tough one, right? I have seasonal allergies, and I wake up in the morning and it's like, oh my God, really? Like that's just my eyes blow up. That's a real challenge. I'm also sensitive to gluten. I don't know if you are. If I eat gluten, this eye swells up. Funny enough, not this eye. I don't know what it is about this eye, but I look like a monster. I wake up, I'm like, wow, you had some gluten. I hope that was worth it. Things like high salt intake. I notice if I eat salty foods, my eyes can swell up. Things like alcohol can sometimes cause it on me. Not always. I notice sometimes it's worse than others. I don't know, go figure. Lack of sleep, obviously, that tends to hit us. Sometimes a lack of specific nutrients in your diet can really cause it. Very interesting. I notice with people who have a lot of nutritional deficiencies can sometimes have puffy eyes. Not always, obviously, but it's just something to consider that you might need to look into your nutrition levels in order to combat things like puffy eyes. Whatever it is, please write down below. Whatever causes it for you. If I didn't touch on it, please put it down below. I'm always curious to hear. All right, so what are some of the treatments for puffy eyes? Obviously surgery, but we're not going to go there. That's a whole nother kettle of fish. I'm trying to talk about things that we can do that are more practical. There are products out there that say they reduce puffiness that you can get from different skincare lines. I've tried quite a few of them. I've really not found very many very effective. I'd be very interested to hear if any of you have used a specific product that you feel like really helps. I would love to know what that is. Again, not had much luck in that, so I can't really speak to that. I can speak to some real practical things. So let's talk about it. All right, what about tea bags? Have you ever tried a green tea bag? So the trick is you heat it up in hot water, you let it cool down, and then you take the tea bag, lie back, and put it on your eye, or each eye. You probably have to do 2 of them. It's an antioxidant. It does help to remove some of the liquid that gets built up in there. So I've noticed when I take it off, oh, it's much better. Cucumbers can have a similar effect, same kind of an idea. Another great trick, and this is one that I do a lot, and that is using a cold compress, or I have a roller here. So I love this. You basically roll it over your eye. You put it in the freezer so it's super cold, and they warm up really quickly, so you got to work fast. And I just take and I gently rub that back and forth, and that helps to drain the fluids from underneath my eye. If I've, maybe had too much wine the night before, or maybe I didn't sleep so well, which is probably more the case, but I'll take and use this. These are great. You can also use a cold compress, anything really cold, but it has to be cold, like ice cold, like in the freezer kind of cold, okay? So you can take maybe a cloth as a cheap way to do this. get it wet, put it in the freezer, let it crisp up, and then use it on your eye. Like put it on there and leave it on there for, maybe a minute or two. And that can help too. It's going to help to stimulate the skin to drain the fluids. Another trick is to use a neti pot. I don't know if you have a neti pot, but that can help to drain your sinuses and help to relieve some of the pressure up in there that can cause the swelling. I don't know. If you've tried that, let me know how that worked. Sometimes it can be a lack of water. Believe it or not, because your body sometimes retains because it doesn't have enough. So drinking more spring water. I always recommend spring water as opposed to tap water. Tap water has a lot of chemicals in it. We have 60% more chemicals in our daily life, in the air, in what we eat and what we drink, than we did in the 1940s and 50s. It's incredible the amount of chemicals our bodies are trying to deal with. So the more you can flush out toxins in your body, the better off you're going to be. I would say 36 to 64 ounces a day of water, of fresh spring water, maybe with a little lemon in it or something like that really helps. And if you get into the habit, you'll notice such a difference that you can't live without it. Plus, you run to the bathroom all the time. All right, retinol can make a big difference. I'm talking about over-the-counter retinol that's not as strong as a Retin A, which is prescription only. But I would use a lower level, like between a 1% and a 0.5% retinol on your eye. And be sure it doesn't irritate, get into your eye and irritate it. Sometimes it can, sometimes it can't. But that can also help to diminish some of the puffiness, or taking vitamin A in your diet. Vitamin A and vitamin C are the two supplements that have the biggest impact on your skin. If you're not taking vitamin C, I'm going to harp on it. Take about 4,000 to 5,000 milligrams a day. That makes a huge difference just in your general health. But when we're talking about puffiness, try some vitamin A in your diet or as a vitamin supplement. Sometimes microneedling can really help. So microneedling is very small needles that puncture the skin. It does a little bit of damage to the skin to tell the skin, oh, it's time to make new cells and rejuvenate. That's actually a really good strategy if you want to have a better complexion, to have brightness to your skin, to help your skin to exfoliate. Those are good strategies. Some people hate microneedling. I've never done it. Personally, I use microdermabrasion. Having said that, using that as close to the eye as you can. You have to go get this done, of course, but that can also help to drain some of the fluids. One of the tricks, and this is a great trick, and I find this really works on me, and that is to sleep elevated. It's so simple. Just put an extra pillow, and I sleep on my back, so it works fine for me, but that really helps. So I wake up in the morning and, look, not as much puffiness. If I lie flat, I notice a big difference. I wake up, I have a lot more puffiness. So I don't know, give that one a go. All right, collagen. Collagen is huge for just your connective tissue, for strengthening your health, for strengthening your skin. I highly recommend taking more collagen in your diet. You can take a collagen supplement. Truth Treatments makes a great collagen supplement that I love, that I recommend. You can also buy it, use it in a shake, make that every day. You can also take more bone broth. I love bone broth. I always talk about this. This is one of my favorite brands. This is Beauty in the Broth. It comes to your front door. It's a concentrate. You heat it up. I like it. I just put a little bit of protein in it, and it's a great snack or lunch or something like that. But you will notice a big difference if you start to raise your bone broth intake. You'll notice your collagen levels definitely increase. It's a great easy thing to do. You can also eat collagen-rich foods like oranges, red peppers, kale, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, and strawberries. Those are all very rich in collagen. If you up that in your diet, that'll help. You also want to consider improving your circulation, because sometimes this can be just lack of circulation. So maybe more exercise, getting outside, doing more walking, just whatever you can in order to get more oxygen into your body. And taking iron-rich foods can help with any anemia that you might have. Anemia can definitely be one of the causes of a poor circulation. So I would take more supplements to do with anemia. Or iron, I guess I should say. And then also, eating more food that brings oxygen and iron to your tissues, things like red meat, pork, poultry, seafood, beans, leafy greens, kale, and spinach. Those are all phenomenal for iron. That can help with circulation with the under eye area. And of course, cutting back on salty foods, alcohol, and smoking. For me, what troubles all these, the alcohol. I lived in Europe for a long time, and I love to have a glass of wine with dinner. I don't know if you're like that. To me, it just feels so lovely and rich and beautiful, and makes me remember my days in Europe. But in any case, I hope these have been helpful for reducing puffiness around your eyes. Do stay tuned. I'll do a video on puffiness, what to do with makeup, because there's a lot you can do. And I do a lot. If you see me with no makeup on, I have very puffy eyes, and I definitely diminish them with my little tricks. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful. Please write down below. And thank you so much for watching The Beauty Shaman.